Hi, this is Dr. Wagner. I thought I'd show you how I'm scoring your virtual stock exchange portfolios. And this is the syllabus, 3220 syllabus for the fall. And here's the relevant portion, stock trading game participation portion on the syllabus. It says there's 50 points, 20 points for active participation, 15 points for effectively and repeatedly using market orders, limit orders, stop orders, and short sales, as well as 15 points for putting a majority of your portfolio at risk. So let's go and what I would do is I would go to the virtual stock exchange, click on ranking to see, I'd go through this list one at a time. So first I'm looking for active participation. And let's see, the syllabus said at least 50 transactions right there. It's a relevant portion. And so if you have less than 50 transactions, what I'm going to do is out of those 15 available 20 available participation points, multiply the tens digits times 2 basically. So there's a pretty big hit if you have less than 50 transactions. So for example, everybody here has more than 50 on the first page on this list, going down to until we get to, well, Tanvir is very close, but Brent and Spencer have less than 50 transactions, so they would get the tens digits, which is 4 in both of those cases, times 2, so that's 8 points of those 20. It's a pretty big hit, but again, that's, following directions. It's not hard to get 50 transactions, even in a couple of days, although I really should be checking to see that those are spread out over the semester. But just going by the syllabus. So the second part is limits and market orders. Okay, so active participation, everyone's getting the full 20 points there except for Brent and Spencer, who could, by the way, still get up to more than 50 transactions just over the next couple of days, or actually just one day. It's all it would take. So we have to look in more detail. You find points for short sales, limit orders, and stop orders. And I can't really tell the difference, by the way, between limits and stops. We see that, Ignacio, I'm sure you're used to people looking at your portfolio since you're in the #1 position. And there's nothing here in the portfolio, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been. As you can see from the transactions list, that he's been busy. So I'm looking, first I would look for short sales. That is, it would say short and a cover to close. And there's nothing on the first page or the second or the third. It looks like I'm going to have to go down to, well, let's see, there's 2 covers there. So that would mean that there's 2, and here there's 2 short sales. There's a short here on September 11th, a short here on September 8th. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep looking until I find 3 and then stop counting. So it's going to be 2 points per short sale up till 6, and 6 being the maximum. Here's a third on August 22nd. So Ignacio does have 3, barely gets those 6 points. I would stop counting at that point and just give 6 points for the shorts, 2 per up until I reach 3. So Ignacio just happened to have exactly 3. Normally I would just get 2, 3 and then stop looking. Now we're going to look for limits and stops. So Ignacio has 6 points for the short sales. Limits and stops, I'm also going to count 2 per observed limit or stop, and then stop after I found 3. But this is the tricky part in the grading of the virtual portfolios. I can't see your orders. If I click on order, I see what you all see when you click on each other's orders. I can't see them. They're private. Only the transactions are public. So in order to deduce that there's a limit or stop order there, I have to click on transactions and look for a difference in timestamp. So looking on page 1, these all are market orders because the times that they were submitted, the orders, are the same as the times of the transactions or the execution of the orders. They're all the same. So those are all market orders, not limits or stops. Second page, same thing. They're all the times on over here match the times on the right. So the transaction time is the same as the order time for this entire page, it looks like, going all the way down. So I have to go to the third page. I'm still looking. And here it looks again, well, on November 11th, there's a difference in time, but you'll notice that 9:22 a.m. on the 11th is before the market opens. The market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 6:30 a.m. Pacific Time, and closes at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific Time. So this was actually submitted before the market opened on November 11th, and it cleared at the market open. It's usually transactions submitted after hours will go through about a minute or two after the market opens, because enough volume has to build up for the whether this game has a limit. I think it's 10%. You can't trade more than 10% of the current volume of trading for that day. So some volume has to build up before trades will go through, just due to that restriction. So we got that. So that's a market order most likely, since it was submitted after hours and went through at the open. Times match up again. Here's a 1 minute difference. That's again transaction. I'll tell you what, I set down the rule is 5 minutes. If the timestamp differs by more than 5 minutes, then I will count that as a limit or stop order. So nothing yet. Going on to the next page, we have, yeah, we do have a difference. Well, okay, Alibaba, 10:40 a.m. 9:34 a.m. Again, that's submitted after hours, went through at the market open or close to it. So that's also not a a limit order or short sell or stop order. That's a market order most likely. So still haven't seen anything. All the timestamps are still matching up. So running out of observations here. We get to September. Here's an interesting one. September 8th, submitted at 2 in the morning, and the transaction executed on September 11th. Now it could be, well, except this was in the morning. If this were a Friday and this were a Monday, 8, 9, 10, 11 would be 3-day separation. If this were a weekend and this were submitted after hours, or if it were a holiday, then this could conceivably be a market order. So what I would do in this case is generally I would look at a calendar to see if the 8th were a Friday and the 11th a Monday. But in this case, September 8th, as you can see there, is actually a Monday, and September 11th is a Thursday. So those are all trading days. I don't believe any of those are holidays. So that clearly is one where the order was submitted and then a lot of activity happened, and then the transaction executed. So this one, ATK, submitted on September 8th, cleared on September 11th. That clearly is either a limit order or a stop order. Now I have no way of telling whether it's a limit or a stop, so it's not going to make a difference to me whether it is a limit or a stop. I don't see your order type, as I just earlier pointed out. So this counts as one. So there's 2 points for that one. And what I'm going to do with the limits and stops is the same as with the shorts. I'm going to count 2 per instance up until 3 and then stop looking. So I'm going to keep looking, see if I can find a second one. That's market open. Again, market open. Timestamps match. So nothing. Timestamps match. Market open. Market open. Timestamp. And these are all at the market open, submitted after hours. So that's the only one I found. So 2 of those 6 points for Ignacio. Now the third portion is taking a risk. Does it look like more than 50% of your portfolio was invested? If I click on performance, I can see Ignacio is almost entirely long, very few shorts. So I'm basically looking at the cash balance for him, and I see that it is 0. But for much of the time in November, 0. Most of the time in November. Most of the time going back to mid-October, and then in October it goes to $250,000, which again, that's less than half. So again, our investment is more than, it's about 3/4. About 3/4 of Ignacio's portfolio is put at risk here, and only $250,000 is kept in cash, which is not risk. Okay, so he passes that. He gets those points. Excuse me. That is, he gets the 15 points for putting a majority of your portfolio at risk. So the only thing he was missing was some limit orders. So Ignacio would get, let's see, 46 of 50 points in the stock trading game. Just to flesh this out a little bit more, let's look at one more person, see how. So Ignacio would have lost 4 points for only having had one limit order on his transaction list. Let's look at Kathleen, number 2 on our rankings. And again, she had more than 50 transactions, so she gets those points. So now I'm looking for limits and stops. I click on the transaction list, and going down on the first page here, the timestamps seem to be matching up. Market open, timestamps are matching up, except for this one. Here we go. CF, November 4th, submitted 12/17. The transaction executed 1/28. The timestamp differs, so I would count that as 1. There has to be at least 3 to get full points for this. Okay, timestamps match up for those, so I go to the second page to look for more. And I get down to, again, here's another one. Timestamp 11:42 is the order, 11:53 is the execution of that order. That is more than 5 minutes difference between those two timestamps, so I would count that one as well. Also the one right above it, 11:42 to 1:48. Although I didn't see it right immediately because 11 looks like a 1, but at any rate, that's a 2-hour difference. So I would count that. So actually she's reached 3. What do we see? AA. Also, I go down here and I see on the 20th there's another one, 336 to 351, a 15-minute difference. So she's clear. I would stop counting. I don't need to, once I get to 3 or 4. Actually, and if I were you, I'd want to make sure there's at least 4 limit or stop orders that have executed with a difference in timestamp. Just because, like I said, I have to eyeball these things. It's possible to miss one. I'll try to be as careful as possible, but she clearly has at least 3, so she gets full credit for that. So now I would go again to her cash balance. Has her portfolio been put at risk for the majority of the time? And it's 0 cash balance in November on the first page. And pretty clearly, she's had the majority of her portfolio put at risk. If it had been this 593 throughout the semester, then I would have deducted points for that, for cash balance. But she also has shorts, so that's probably the reason for that on those days. She had a few shorts, not very many. Oh, did I look for shorts? Oh, I need to look for shorts. I forgot to do that, so I'll have to go back and make sure there's some shorts. I count them at 2 points per short until I reach 3, and then I'll stop counting. We can see there's a cover, but I'm looking for the word short on these lists. So there's a short on 1027. That's 1. There is a short, 2 shorts on 922. There's 2 shorts on 922. So I would actually stop looking at that point. Presumably there's more, but there's another one on 911. So she's got full credit for having shorts as well. So having found nothing to count off, Kathleen would have all 50 points, 50 out of 50 points, and have no deductions. So that's how that works. I hope this was helpful to you. If you want to see what a lot of limit orders going through looks like, you can always look at mine. I'm like last place. I was in first place a month ago, by the way. So you can go up and down pretty quick. But if you click on my transaction history, which I'm sure some people have done, you can see that there have been a lot of the timestamps are different. This actually was a limit order because the order was submitted during trading hours on the 4th, and December 4th is not a weekend, as you can see here. It's a Thursday. So it was submitted on a Thursday, went through on a Friday, and was submitted during trading hours. So that actually would also count as a limit order. Okay. This one submitted on November 25th, went through on December 1st. Pretty clearly that was either a limit or stop order. And so, you go, not all of them, obviously this is not, this is a regular market order. The timestamps match. Same here, timestamps match. Probably same here. Here the dates differ, the 22nd to the 31st. That's a limit or stop order that went through. So anyway, so you get the idea. You can see lots of limit orders on my transaction list. So there you have it. Hope this was helpful. Please feel free to contact me by email or text message if you have any questions. Thank you.